else do you guys think about this?
Well, one of my problems that I think we run into, I'm in a small organization, so we don't even have enough people that care about getting together, whether virtual or in person. It's not that they don't care about the people, they just don't feel this need to have a community particularly. And if they want to talk to someone, they'll call them or talk to them. So, but when we have had, or I've been in groups, I find that it's how do we keep it maintained? Like for these chats that you put on, that Rebel Learning put on, a lot of times it's an interest in a topic that keeps me coming back. So things like that. So I know that topic can definitely, just like Renee said, I think that's probably a very smart way to go because that's what keeps the interest. However, who keeps it going? Who makes sure that the topics are right? Who takes care of any of that? Because I've never seen anything last for a long period of time. It always kind of, dribbles off to the edge and then kind of stops after a while. People get tired, get tired of doing whatever, and they just stop doing it. So that's kind of one of my concerns, and how to keep it alive, how to keep it so that people want to stay involved.
Well, how about this? What if it's okay if they die?
Yeah, some are, I guess.
Right. What if it's okay? The project is done. The project's been completed, or the reason that they've come together has lived its natural life. So now it's time to move on to another community of practice or something else, within the organization. So I would say that it's okay for it to conclude. Let's not say die. Let's be a little bit more positive. Let's conclude. So it's okay if they close out. Now, if we can help them, what are some ways that we can help sustain? Let's say you do have a strong community of practice of these young leaders, young professionals within your organization, and you just have a standby role. It's like, I know it's happening, and that's great. I'm just kind of keeping my eye on it as an L&D professional. I just want to, see what's happening, keep my eyeballs on it. How could you help keep interest in that moving forward? What do you think you could do?
Shannon, this is Jeff. I work for the National Institute of Corrections. It's a government agency, so sometimes it's difficult to be able to do things. We're handcuffed a lot of times with just what we're able to do. But one of the things we do is we have on our website, we have different networks and communities of practice based on job title or role, if you will. And one of the things that I have kind of found, at least in my division, those communities of practice, network forums, whatever you want to call them, they're only as good as someone tending to them. So we'll post in there, or somebody will post a question and get some feedback, get some answers. But one of the things that we have found is kind of what you said, is as that professional standing by, if it's my group that I'm in charge of, or I'm overseeing that community of practice and I have to approve those posts going in, there's a lot of times where I'll go in and just seed it, and I'll throw something in there to get it talking, because sometimes all these different folks in these different agencies are busy, they're shorthanded, they don't have time to log in. They may have a question, but they're just not going to log in. But if I can seed it and it pops up in their email, they're likely to then go to it and keep the conversation rolling. But if we ignore it, we kind of, as the conversation stated earlier, it dies or it just kind of fizzles out. But if we seed it kind of regularly, it does maintain its momentum, if you will.
I like that.
Similar to drip learning, kind of that. I like that idea where you just get something that just toggles your brain a little bit and says, oh yeah, that's right, I like to do this, I like to be a part of this.
Yeah, drip community. It's a drip community. Yeah, so we say we're irrigating, right? So if we keep the metaphor alive, we're kind of irrigating the field, and I really appreciate that thought, because they're there for a reason. And like you said, if they're busy, And if you can give them information that's going to help continue the conversation to move forward, why not?
One of the things that we do to help ours is that we have leadership. When they're officially a community of practice, they get, the leader, whoever is leading the group, gets funding for like 2 hours a week to work on their community of practice. So
Oh, okay.
that's 2 hours where they don't have to be on a project. Instead, they're on this. It's still on top of all the other work they do, but at least there's funding for it. And we also have a really active knowledge manager who supports those leaders. He's like, well, try this and do this and that kind of things, so that the community keeps going. And then sometimes they do die away, and sometimes we get new ones. So it's kind of organic in the way they grow.